Hi, this is Barnett Press Lock, and we have the trusty TRex here. So we're going to do a little experimentation and see how many layers of material we can clinch, and then also look at how we would attack the problem if it's not doing quite what we want. So here we have some 26 gauge pre-painted steel. This is a corrugated. It also has a hem folded into it. So we're going to look at how we would approach doing multiple layers of it. We're not going to go into super depth. We're going to see where the problems lie and then have a note about how we would attack it here. So first thing we're going to do is just set the machine up so that it can join 2 layers of this. And as we go over to this machine here, this machine has 2 pressure switch settings. We can have an A and a B. So we're going to put this over to our B setting, which just gives us to make sure we have enough power. We also have a no tool 5-second clinch setup. So we have a digital readout here telling us where our setting is, and then we're just going to see what does this do at that setting. So we have a number 15 punch in the top. It's a 4.6 diameter punch or a 4-ton tool, and we have a number 30 or a 30 thou pocket depth of a die. And if I put these 2 together, I'm expecting these to just fall apart. And we got nothing at all. So we're going to adjust this down. So we may get a small impression here. We're going to see how that looks. So we're getting a small impression, but still not quite holding. So we're going to go another 30 down. This should start getting us a bit of a hold. So now you can see we're getting an interlock there. The material's bonding. That's a pretty acceptable. I'm going to be bleeding soon if I do much more with that. So that looks like we've got something started. So next we're going to switch right over and see what happens when we do 3 layers. So the thing about doing 3 layers is that we're trying to stretch this top layer through 2 bottom layers. So this is going to be getting sort of at the limit of what the clinch is going to be successful at in this application. So if I just keep all the settings the same, it's going to clinch it a little bit harder, which is okay here because we've got the pressure switch. But likely what I'm expecting is that we get a hole in this top layer. So see if it proves me wrong. Yeah, it proves me wrong. So it didn't get a hole. So, and it looks like we could make that a little stronger. So we're going to try turning this down just a little more and see how that does. I'll put one right there. So we're kind of getting at the limit for what that's doing. It's starting to rip, and I think the paint is actually making this a little tricky. So what I would likely do with this, if I'm having a failure like this, it's popping off pretty easily, and I don't have a hole, is I can either go a little bit deeper with that die to 35, so another 5 thou deeper, or 40, or I can make that punch a little bit sharper, because you saw I just increased the distance that we were squeezing. But I think we'll leave that for another video today. And then we'll look at a way where doing a multiple layer could be a little bit different. So I might try just a little bit more squeeze here. Let's see if we just go a little bit more. So we can see that that is, I am going to regret doing this, but it's actually a little bit harder. So if I grab a wrench here and see, we're getting, that's probably about as good as we're going to get. We're getting a little bit of a rip through on the top. So depending on the application, that might be good enough. But if we wanted to get it a bit stronger or we wanted to add even more layers, we'd likely go to some square tooling for anti-rotation. But that's sort of how we would approach it anyway. And we'll have more videos like this to come. But thank you very much.